This program is sponsored by Zad Group.
Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأصلي وأسلم على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to this new episode of Ask Huda, broadcasted to you live from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Our first question is from Uthman, and he says, do we regard and treat the disbelievers who are citizens of the same country with us as Ahlul Dhimma, notwithstanding the country is regrettably a non-Sharia practicing nation of near equal Muslim-Christian domination? Now, the question of Uthman has a lot of implications that we have to understand. And it's a very important question, may Allah reward him, that he brought light into this issue. First of all, the disbelievers who live in our country, the Muslim country, they either are dhimmi or mu'ahid or harbi and other categories. So those who are dhimmi, those who are living among us, might carry the same nationality, and Islamically they're obliged to give taxation only on the men. Females, children, elderly are exempted. Those who are working and earning, they're requested to pay a very minimal fee of taxation in return of us giving them full protection. If any army would to invade the country, they're not requested to fight with us. Only the Muslims are told to fight, and they have to fight in defense of these around us. A mu'ahad is someone who has a treaty between us and them. So he comes for a period of time, and there is a treaty signed by the Muslims giving him a safe haven. He can live for a period of time. And this is like the expats who come for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years contract to do something in the Muslim country. Al-Harbi is a person who is between us and them. There is war taking place. So this person does not have any kind of treaty or peace between us and them. So now Uthman is asking about those who are dhimmis, Ahlul Dhimma, those who pay the taxation. Now, his question is important because it gives you a background of how some people think. Why is he asking such a question? He's saying, do we have to treat them and deal with them in regard of these disbelievers in the same fashion that the Prophet told us, ﷺ, bearing in mind that the country is a non-Sharia practicing country. So they do not implement Sharia law. What does this mean? Usually when someone refers to a country that it is non-Sharia compliant or they're not implementing Sharia law, this usually, not always, usually gives the idea or the point of view that the ruler is a kafir because he's not implementing Sharia law. And this is in accordance to chapter 5, Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 44, where Allah says, and whoever does not implement or rule with the law of law, then those are the kafir, the disbelievers. So it's an issue of dispute among scholars in regards of implementation. Theoretically, there are lots of views about it. But when you come to practice and you want to look a realistic way at the Muslim countries nowadays, the vast majority don't implement Sharia law. And this is well established and well known. So do we give them takfir or not? Now here is where feet slip. It's a slippery ground that you're walking on. It's a very fine, thin line. And there is a difference between theoretically giving verdicts and rulings and implementing it on the road. You find people coming on YouTube and they start bombarding all rulers of the Muslims as kafir because of this ayah. But there is an ayah afterwards, it says, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمْ الظَّالِمُونَ, transgressors, and also al-fasiqun, the sinners. So why did you pick the first one and immediately labeled anyone who does not rule with Allah's law to be a kafir? I'm not belittling the issue of ruling with other than Allah's law. This is a major issue. It can nullify your Islam. If you think that your man-made law is better than Sharia law, you're a kafir. Even if you pray not 5 times a day, 50 times a day. If a person thinks that it is not better, it's equivalent, then he's a kafir as well. Because nothing comes close to Allah's law. But if a person believes that the law of Allah is the best, but due to weakness, due to his fear over his throne or over his power, he implements other than the law of Allah, this is an issue of dispute. And it seems that he is not a kafir. And we cannot label him as a kafir. Therefore, if we know the background, when we come to our brother Uthman's question, and he says that, should we treat them Ahl al-Dhimma? Because they don't pay jizya, and the country is not ruled by the Sharia. So in this case, I have my doubts. The answer is, Akhi, this is way above yours and my pay grade. This is something only the scholars, the real scholars of the Ummah can collaborate and judge. Basically speaking, from what we see, what ensures the safety of the Muslims and of the community is that it's not to you or to me to take a decision. Now this disbeliever living in my country, whether he's paying jizya or not, this is up to the Muslim ruler. It's his duty, it is his call. Now, if he does not implement Sharia, he's still a Muslim. Otherwise, it is we will be giving blanket takfir for everybody. So if he's a Muslim and we give him benefit of the doubt, we try our level best to implement Sharia, to give him advice, to work here and there, giving da'wah, etc. But this doesn't change anything that this kafir, this disbeliever, this Christian or this Jew living on my soil is to be treated as the Prophet ﷺ told us to treat them, in a nice fashion, because he has a treaty with the ruler of the country, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Abdul Nasser from Libya. The ruler of the country, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Abdul Nasser from Libya.
Sheikh, salam alaikum.
Salam rahmatullah.
I have 2 questions for you, Sheikh.
Yes.
My first question is, should in case you are praying with someone, you are 2 in number, and after you start the praying, another man came and joined you as congregation. So can you move step in front of them during you are praying, or you can stay and remain a 3 of them, and you as imam in the left, or you can move 3 steps to front of the 2 of the Jama'ah? That's my first question. And my second question, there are some Christians, missionaries in my country, in Ghana. And these people, they always go to the village of Muslims, poor Muslims, to read a Quran incorrect and translate Quran incorrect, just to confuse the mind of the poor Muslims in that village. So as a Muslim, how can you go and can you fight with this Christian missionary? Because if you call them to come for an debate. They refuse to come for debate. And you cannot control your temper as somebody who don't know Quran. He read Quran incorrect and translated it incorrect. So how can we do to control our temper if we see that problem? Thank you, Sheikh. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Abdul Nasir had two interesting questions. The first one, if two are praying in congregation, we know that they have to stand side by side. The imam is on the left, the follower is on the right. If a third one wants to join them, what to do? The sunnah is for the third one to come and pull lightly the follower so that he would step backwards and they would form a row behind the imam. This is the sunnah. If the imam was tapped on the shoulder and he stepped forward 1 or 2 steps so that they would be behind him, this is the same thing, and there's no problem in choosing either one, insha'Allah. Muhammad from Nigeria?
Yes?
Yes, your question, Muhammad. Muhammad?
Good evening, Sheikh.
Yes, good evening. Listen to me from the phone, please, and mute your television.
Okay.
Yes, what's your question?
Okay, Sheikh. My question is, Sheikh. My question is, I'm a public servant.
Okay.
Yeah, and I engage in some personal businesses as well.
Okay.
Sometimes I use separate
Yeah, Muhammad, listen to me from the phone, please. Mute your television. Don't listen. Okay, he's gone. I would urge the viewers when they call, please mute your TV and talk to me through the phone so that we would not lose a lot of time. Abdel Nasser's second question, he said that in Gambia, I think, his country, there are missionaries, Christian missionaries, who go from one village to the other preaching the Gospels, but these people do not actually preach the Gospel. They try to confuse the Muslims by reciting to them verses of the Quran and mistranslating it. So they give the wrong information. So instead of saying Allah is one, there's no one worthy of being worshipped except one, they say that, look, in the Quran it says Allah is one of 3, and you have to worship 3 in 1, etc. So he says, sometimes we are unable to control our temper. What can we do when such an incident takes place? First of all, it is essential that you control your temper, because this is what they want you to do. Yani the West, the disbelievers, the kafir, they try their level best to provoke the Muslims to act in a way that would make them look negative, and then they would blast the picture wide open and big so that the people would think negatively about Islam. Don't do that. The Prophet ﷺ, when he was requested by one of his companions to execute one of the heads of hypocrites, and in another incident, he was requested to execute one of the leaders of the Khawarij. The Prophet ﷺ refrained from doing that. Why? He deserves to be executed, and you are the Muslim ruler. You have the authority and the power to do so. The Prophet said, ﷺ, no, I don't want people to talk and say that Muhammad is killing his companions. They don't know what's between the lines. They don't know the circumstances. They only see that Muhammad killed one of his people, not knowing that this one is an enemy of Islam who deserves to be killed. Likewise, these missionaries, they deserve to be refrained and stopped from their evil, but by attacking them, by killing them, you would make Islam look weak, because those who cannot refute such doubts and such dubious issues through communication, those who can only slander and swear and use abusive words, these are the characteristics of weak people. So you have to try your level best to inform the people and show them the correct translation and tell them that these are blatant liars. What do you expect? And make fun of them in front of the villagers. Tell them these people worship 3-in-1. It's like heads and shoulders. It's a shampoo. Or maybe they don't use shampoos of that type there. Alhamdulillah. But you can tell them that their religion is based on fables and tales. They don't even have an original scripture. They have 1,600 versions of their Bible. And the Catholic Bible is different than the Protestant. So if they are unable to preserve their own holy book, they want to talk about our holy book. So inshallah this would do the job. Muhammad from Nigeria again. Muhammad? Okay, Abu Bakr from Morocco.
Yes, Sheikh. I want to ask a question, please.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu
So, Sheikh, I was on 2008 working with United Nations in Congo.
Okay.
So they give me a mobile to work for the mission.
Okay.
But I use it for my interest. Now, I want to estimate all this communication in order to give back this money to the organization, but it's not possible now.
Okay.
How can I give to who I am going to give this money?
Okay. Any more questions?
I mean the communication which I use for my interest when I was with you.
I understand, Abu Bakr. Any more questions?
This is the first question. The second one, please, Sheikh. Okay. This is the first question. After I will prepare the second one. And,
inshallah.
Ask it to
Hayyak Allah.
Inshallah.
Hayyak. Muhammad from Nigeria.
Assalamu alaikum, ya Sheikh.
Salamullah.
Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was kind to all people, including kuffar, non-Muslims. And he was a good example of humanity, whereas we see that while Shiites and Sunnis have a lot of things in common, there are a lot of disputes among them. For an example, just days ago, hundreds of Shiites were killed in Nigeria, and their leader was taken in custody. Unfortunately, we see that Saudi King Malik Salman, Mohammed Salman,
you don't know even his name, huh?
Excuse me?
You don't even know his name. So what has Nigeria to do with the Saudi king and with the regime again? All of this, akhi, is nonsense. Do you have any questions, specific question? Okay. Muhammad from Nigeria, he says that he is a public servant and he has his own special business. And the line was cut, so most likely, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best, his question was, what happens if I use my government facilities for my own interest, such as using the phone, the faxes, the time, the computers, the internet? Now the answer is that this is not permissible. You are assigned for 8 hours in your office to serve the government, to serve your post, to serve your company or your people. But you may not use that time for your own personal interest. So some people use the stationaries, the papers and the pens, and may take some of it to his own establishment. And this is haram. Some may use the phone or the mobile phone, as in the question of Brother Abu Bakr, which we will answer now, inshallah. Abu Bakr says that when he was in the UN serving in Congo, he used to use the mobile assigned to him for company business to his own interest. So he used to call his family, he used to call his friends, and use it for personal use. So he wants to estimate the amount. and give it back to the United Nations. But this is not possible at the moment because usually they don't have any sector where you can give them back money that was abused. But on the contrary, usually the United Nations gives without accountability in those who work there. They embezzle and steal money in the millions and nobody's holding them accountable because, anyhow, this is not our subject. So what would he do? Akhi, estimate the amount of money that you think that you have abused and misused the company's property in, and give it in means of charity. And the closest to you, for example, those who are poor, those who are needy among your relatives, really poor, and you're not obliged to provide for them, give them this money. If not, then look for someone who's ill, someone who needs to pay the bills and is unable to do that, someone needs money for education for his children and he's unable to do that. All of this, inshallah, would do the job. Muhammad from Saudi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have got two questions.
Yes.
Friday sermon, when the Imam is doing the second part, like making a dua, can we raise up our hand and say Ameen, like usual duas?
Okay. Second question.
Okay. Second question is there. People usually came from the Makkah, outside to perform the Umrah. And once they perform the Umrah, they will stay for nearly 1 week or 10 days, depending on their visa. So can they perform other Umrahs for their dead relatives, like father, parents, and other things?
Okay. Any more questions?
No. Thank you.
You're welcome. Amber from Saudi.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Samtullah.
Sheikh, I have like a few questions. First one is like somebody asked me to ask you, is it sunnah to drink water like the first thing when you get up in the morning without eating or drinking anything, just to drink water?
Okay.
And second question is, can we like make wudu like inside the bathroom? We make wudu. Somebody was telling me that we can't because we have to say the shahada, so you have to come outside the bathroom and like if there is like a wash basin outside, you make wudu there,
okay,
not inside the bathroom. I find this like, I don't know, it's comfortable, I'm doing it inside the bathroom, and what's wrong with that? So, and the third question is like, in Pakistan, we celebrate the birthday of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and usually we have these arguments, and I am telling my friends and relatives that it's a bid'ah. And recently, when again this argument was going on, some of them defended that even if it's a bid'ah, it's a good bid'ah. And they said that Prophet himself said that in Islam there will be like 72 sects, and all of the sects have to respect one another. You cannot disregard others' whatever their acts of worship are. And even Umar radiallahu anh started Taraweeh, and that was considered a bid'ah, and then he said that it is a good bid'ah. I don't know how correct the arguments are. I'm just asking you so you endorse that if they're wrong or right.
Okay.
And then also that the fact that the Hijri calendar started after the Hijrah of Prophet, so his birthday is calculated backwards, and so 12th Rabi' Awwal could be his birthday date. And because I'm against all this, they say that I follow Wahhabism, and I don't know what they mean by Wahhabism.
Okay.
So just if you could shed light on this fact.
I will answer you, inshallah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Ahmed from Saudi. Ahmed? Ahmed is gone. Muhammad from Nigeria. He's not from Nigeria. His voice is quite regular. He calls and he lies. Jazakallah khair. He says from Nigeria sometimes. He says I'm from Pakistan. Sometimes he calls from Bahrain. Sometimes he calls, mashallah. The voice is well known. And the same rhetoric. His hatred to Islam, his hatred to Makkah and Medina, and to what represents this the hatred of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. You may differ, and this is up to you, but don't lie. Don't try to mix things up in order to market and endorse the takfiri ideology or to defend ISIS, the non-Islamic state of Iraq and of Syria. You don't have to do this. You have to go back to the Quran and Sunnah if you are a Muslim, if you are a true Muslim. He says that the Shia have been killed in Nigeria. I don't know about this news, but no one ever endorses the killing or the discriminate massacres and suicide bombing of the Shia anywhere. This is un-Islamic. This has nothing to do with Islam. If you're a man, fight like a man. What you're doing is the doing of not the Muslims. And you kill yourself with a suicide bomb, inshallah, you go straight to hell. Bi-idhnillah azza wa jal. Because anyone who kills himself, he will end up in hell, as the Prophet had said, alayhi salatu wasalam. You are the one who detonated it. You are the one who killed the children and the women, regarding them as collateral damage. Who are you to judge people? The Prophet told us, whoever kills himself will be tortured in the hellfire with the same weapon that he killed himself, خالدا مخلدا فيها أبدا, for eternity. And this is in Sahih Imam Muslim. Are you going to reject a hadith in Sahih Imam Muslim? Or you know more than the Prophet ﷺ? Anyhow, we have Fatima from Gambia. Okay, I think we lost Fatima. Abdul Nasser from Libya.
Fatima from Gambia. Okay, I think we lost Fatima. Abdul Nasser from Libya. Sheikh, salam alaikum.
Salam tullah.
Yes, Abdul Nasser
Yes,
from
Abdul
Libya.
Nasser.
I asked the first
Yes, Akhi.
Christian missionaries. I'm from Ghana, but I work in Libya.
Okay.
And yes, for the past 2 years, we are working in the company. We didn't get our monthly salary almost 2 years. And my children are going to school. To pay their school fees is very difficult. And we are here in Sahara. There is one machine belong to our company. I am an electrical welder. So I use that welding machine for the company and do some jobs. And I get some money and pay my children school fees. So I want to know the money I use to pay my children's school fees, which the machine is for company. How are you going to judge me?
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, I think I got your question, Abdul Nasser. We have a short break. Stay tuned, and inshallah, we'll be right back.
Zad's Group present to you 3 of the best versions for Sheikh Muhammad Saleh Al-Munajjid in English language. How he treated them. Interaction of the greatest leader, the Pilgrim's Provision. For more information, please visit one of those websites.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I'm going to talk about the book Interactions of the Greatest Leader. Today's topic is poverty. Poverty in Islamic legislation refers to lacking or falling short of basic necessities. So, anyone who does not have a quantity that satisfies him and his family is considered in poverty and among the destitute. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam fed the trial of riches for his nation more than he fed for poverty. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "By Allah, it is not poverty about which I fear for you, but I fear in your case that riches may be given to you as were given to those who had gone before you, and that you begin to vie with one another for them as they vied for them, and that they may destroy you as they destroyed them." This hadith was reported by Al-Bukhari and also in Majmu' al-Fatawa.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. Mahmoud from Nigeria?
Nigeria, yes.
Yes, Mahmoud. Yes, Akhi, what's your question?
Yes. It is permissible to allow your wife to go to work or school while the school is combined with both male and female genders.
Okay. Any more questions?
What are the position of the husband?
Okay. Any more questions?
Yes. The second question, what dua can I recite in order to separate myself and my family from a bad neighbor? It's a kafir. And the his neighbor is disturbing me and is threatening the life of my children. They are not living in peace. So the neighbor is a kafir.
Okay.
So I want that neighbor to relocate because the land is not belong to him.
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah.
Okay, mashallah.
Nadia from Saudi Arabia.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Sheikh, I have 3 questions.
Yes.
My question number 1 is regarding prayer, Friday prayer. Actually, I know about the other prayers that I have heard many times from you that if the person reaches even at the end, he should join the imam, even in the last sujood. But I just want to ask about Friday prayer. For example, if a person knows from the home, just the home is in front of mosque, that he already missed the second rakah also almost, but he can join like in sujood. So he should go to the mosque or he should pray Zuhr prayer at the home.
Okay.
My second question is about ihram. Someone asked me about this, that if a woman, after wearing ihram, if she put the lotion or cream which is perfumed, does she have to give the kafara? Or if it is without perfume, is it allowed any lotion or cream like Nivea or something like that?
Okay.
My third question is about traveling. Sheikh, I asked you traveling without mahram. I searched the hadith and I found the hadith, it's telling like 3 days or 3 nights or 2 days or 2 nights. But I want to ask you that the traveling like nowadays, it's 3 to 4 hours. For example, many countries from Saudi Arabia, for example. So that traveling is also considered under that category, or is it allowed for a woman to travel without mahram if the travel is only 3 to 4 hours in a plane?
I will answer,
and
inshallah.
She's not alone. Many people are there in the plane.
Okay. I will answer.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Uzaki. Fatima from Nigeria. Fatima.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
I have a question, please.
Yes.
My husband was dead. I'm right now observing my Idda in my father's house. He was dead. He died in the mosque while praying his Fajr prayers due to the insecurity in our country. A suicide bomber detonated and many of them died. So due to the insecurity in our area where we live with my husband, I came to my father's house to observe my Idda. And Alhamdulillah, he died in a good way, and Alhamdulillah, he ate his Shahada while he was dying, Alhamdulillah. But the problem I'm facing now is my mother is trying to pressurize me that after my Idda, I have to get married. And I just had to be living with, I hated to see myself marrying another man, that I love my husband, and Alhamdulillah, that I had a hadith that was saying, if you love your husband, you can at least sustain yourself maybe from fasting to die mu'mina, and Almighty Allah will bring you together in Jannah with your husband. So I don't know if I say no to my mother, it's like I disobeyed her. And I don't know if I disobeyed her, it's like maybe I don't know if I made a great offense to Almighty Allah or to my mom. And also, that people used to tell me that when I'm observing my Idda, I don't supposed to watch the television, and I don't supposed to use my phone, and so many things. But because whenever I sit alone, even if I'm making my dua, but whenever I think of my husband, I cry and just. But if I watch channels like Saudi Quran recitations or Huda TV, alhamdulillah, I try to relax my mind. But few people used to see that I have to keep watching television and using my phone. So this also is it also avoidable things that
Any more questions?
This is my question.
Okay, I will answer you inshallah. Okay, Muhammad from Saudi Arabia, he says that during the khutbah of the Jum'ah, when the Imam says, Allahumma Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhab an-nar, and he makes dua in the second part of the sermon. Is it permissible to raise the hands and say Ameen? The answer is no. The companions told us, may Allah be pleased with them, that all the companions at the time of the Prophet ﷺ would not raise their hands in the sermon of Jum'ah, neither would the Prophet himself ﷺ. So the Prophet himself would not raise his hands when he makes dua except by pointing his finger up. So he says, Allahumma ghfir lana, Allahumma arhamna, with his finger, with the index finger. Not this way, and neither the Sahaba would say, raise their hands and say Ameen, except if the Imam is making dua for rain. Then this is the only exempted issue, that he raises his hands and the congregation does the same as well. Second question from Muhammad, that if a person makes Umrah and he's in Mecca for a week or so, depending on the visa duration, and then he wants to make another Umrah for a deceased family member. So is this permissible? The answer is yes, but it is not recommended. And if you want to make another Umrah, you have to go to Masjid Aisha, or known as the Tan'im, because this is in the Hill area, and you are in the Haram area. So in order to make Umrah, you have to leave the Haram area to the Hill, make your intention of Ihram there, and then make your Umrah. Amber from Saudi Arabia, she says, is it true that drinking water is part of the Sunnah and when you wake up? The answer is no, this is not from the Sunnah. She says, what's the ruling on making wudu in the bathroom? Because you have to say the Shahada, you have to say a number of things as well. This is not a problem. You can perform wudu anywhere on earth. Now, regarding saying Bismillah, when you begin your wudu or saying the Shahada, you can say it in your heart without any problem. Abu Bakr from Morocco.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Samtullah.
This is my second question, Sheikh.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum. So I serve in another company. Sometimes my chief or Wali al-Amr ask me sometimes to sign like I received some, for instance, some mechanical items. I know that, Sheikh, that he wants to steal money.
Okay.
But me myself, I didn't get him anything, Allah Shahid. But I facilitate the way to Wali al-Amr in this affair. Now, after Tawbah, should I return anything to this company, or what can I do? But I didn't get anything, Sheikh.
Okay.
But Wali al-Amr effectively take, but I facilitate the way to Wali al-Amr to take this money. I signed.
And you did sign it out of fear? You were forced, or why did you sign if you know that he was...
No, he didn't force me. He didn't force me. He didn't force me.
Okay.
I didn't force me, no. But I signed. But I know he wants to steal.
Okay, I will answer inshallah.
And now after Tawbah, I didn't get anything. If it is possible, because I facilitate the way to him to take this money, I return back to the company, no problem, I would do it. But I didn't get anything. My problem, I didn't get anything. But I facilitate the way.
Okay, I will answer inshallah. Alaykum salam. Abu Hudayfa from Nigeria.
Assalamu alaikum.
Samtullah.
Please, I would like to know your opinion on the issue of sending Friday reminders and then saying Jumat Mufida and Jumat Karim, things like that. I've seen a post somewhere where they say it's haram. So please, I'd like to know your opinion on that.
So you're asking about the ruling on sending SMSs saying Jum'ah Mubarakah?
Nah.
Okay, I will answer you inshallah. Amber's third question, she says that in her country, Pakistan, they have a lot of allegations and arguments about Mawlid. One of their allegations is that it is a good innovation. And the terminology, good innovation, is baseless. The Prophet ﷺ, whenever he used to begin his speeches in great gatherings, he would say, وَإِيَّاكُمْ وَمُحْدَثَاتِ الْأُمُورِ. Avoid anything that is innovated. فَإِنَّ كُلَّ مُحْدَثَةٍ بِدْعَةٍ. Anything that is new, this is an innovation. وَكُلَّ بِدْعَةٍ ضَلَالَةٍ. And every bid'ah is taking you astray. He did not, ﷺ, make any exceptions. He said, كُلْ بِدْعَةٍ ضَلَالَةٍ. Anything that is innovated in the religion of Allah Azza wa Jal is an innovation, a bid'ah, marduda. It is rejected. So how dare you come and say, no, the Prophet said every bid'ah it takes you astray, but there are good bid'ahs. How dare you say such a thing and go against the Prophet ﷺ? This is okay. The Prophet said, ﷺ, every bid'ah is astray. Umar made a bid'ah. May Allah be pleased with him. What did Umar do? Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, gathered the people to pray behind one imam. This is an innovation. No, it's not an innovation. The Prophet himself ﷺ prayed 3 or 4 nights, Taraweeh. And he led the congregation. So this is his sunnah. But he refrained from continuing for the fear that it would be mandated upon them. But other than that, Umar, all what he did was to revise the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, or actually to revive the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, which people neglected. So he did not come with a new innovation. And they tell her that the Prophet told us about the 72 sects and that we should have mutual respect. This is bogus. This is baseless. The Prophet told us about the 72 sects that are in hell. And you want us to respect their beliefs and ideas? They are deviant. They are in hell, the Prophet said. Only one would not go to hell, and they are those who follow his footsteps and the footsteps of the companions. May Allah be pleased with them. Abdul Sattar from India. Abdul Sattar.
Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam to Allah.
Hello. I wanted to ask some question of you, Sheikh.
Yes.
I wanted to ask, how is the relationship between human rights and Islam? I mean, some people in Nigeria have been attacked by Boko Haram and the clergyman.
Okay, I will answer you inshallah. Nigeria and Shia Boko Haram. We have Ahmed from USA.
What?
Ahmed from the US?
Yeah. My name is Ahmad. I'm from the United States. Right now, I'm in Saudi Arabia, and I wanted to ask about Islam, okay? I just converted to Islam a week ago, all right? So I'm a new Muslim. And I wanted to ask, I hear about a lot of things about Islam, and some people say it's a religion of peace, and some other people say it's a religion of war. So I wanted to know if war and violence is praised in Islam, or it's the other way around and peace is praised, okay? So this is my first question. And the second question is this, okay? If somebody, says that violence is good, can we call him a Muslim? Because I hear that head of a country just praised and congratulated another head of a country for killing a bunch of Muslims. And, I'm talking about the Saudi king praising.
Okay. Amber, fourth question, she says that bearing in mind that the hijrah was after the death of the Prophet ﷺ, so how can people know that it was on the specific date? No, this is normal. Though the beginning of the Islamic calendar was initiated by Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, however, this did not have anything to do with the months of the lunar calendar of the Islamic calendar, which is Muharram, Safar, Rabi', etc. So this is not related, inshallah. Abdul Nasser from Libya, he says, it's been 2 years and he's working in the desert, he's a welder, and they haven't paid him any money, and he needs his wages to pay for his children's tuition fees. So he works out of the working hours using the company's machine. and he gains money and he sends it to his people. Is there anything wrong with that? No, there's nothing wrong with that, because you need, at the end of the day, to earn halal money rather than go and steal. However, when it is time for you to collect your wages, then there has to be some sort of calculation, because using their machine for your interest, it has to have some percentage of the money you took from your clients. Now, the work is yours, but the machine usually has a certain fee per hour. So you deduct this from it, and inshallah, you'll be in safe hands. Mahmoud from Nigeria, is it permissible to allow the wife to go to a mixed school? No, the answer is no. This is totally prohibited. Even if you give her permission, Allah did not give you the permission. Women cannot go and sit with men in schools. Secondly, what is a good dua to separate us from a bad neighbor who is taunting us and our children? Well, there isn't any prescribed dua. However, the Prophet ﷺ allowed you to make dua against him. May Allah Azza wa Jal take care of him. Oh Allah Azza wa Jal, relieve us from our neighbor. Oh Allah, take him away from us. So you have general dua, and there's no problem in that. Nadia from the SA, she says, about Jum'ah, we know that you have to pray Friday prayers in the masjid. Now her husband is late, and the imam is in the final rak'ah, in the sitting position maybe, or in the sajda. If he goes to the masjid, he will miss the salah. Can he join from his house? The answer is definitely not. And he has to pray dhuhr. Whether he goes to the masjid because he missed the second rak'ah, or he prays in home, he has to pray dhuhr, and he is sinful for being late. Second question, can a woman after ihram apply perfumed lotion on her body? The answer is no. This is not permissible, because a woman in regular times, in normal times, she's not allowed to wear perfume. Doing it in ihram with perfumed lotion that people can find the scent of it, this is not permissible. If it is not something considered to be perfume, it is, if it's something like Nivea, for example, or Vaseline, these things are not considered to be perfume. No one goes to a wedding and applies Nivea, for example, so that people would find this scent of it. In this case, there is no expiation. But if it were to be sort of changing the odor and having a good scent and a perfume, in this case, yes, she has to give expiation, and the expiation is to fast 3 days, or to feed 6 people, half a sa' per each, or to slaughter a sheep. She says she researched the subject of a woman traveling without a mahram, and she found that there are hadiths saying 3 days, and hadith with 2 days, and hadith with 1 day and a night, and a general hadith. So how can she make up her mind, especially if we know that the distance or the time in airplanes is like 6 hours, 4 hours, etc. So this permissible? Answer is no. The Prophet, as Imam Nawawi said, may Allah be pleased, may Allah have mercy on his soul, that the Prophet, when he answered companions, he was answering them in accordance to the question. So one was asking, oh Prophet of Allah, my wife wants to go from Mecca to Medina, and it takes 3 days travel, for example, on camel horse, on camel's back. So the Prophet said that it is not permissible to travel the distance of 3 days and night. Another one says, okay, she wants to go this place, and he said 2 days and night. And final is that it is not permissible for a woman who believes in Allah and the Day of Judgment to travel without a mahram. And he did not specify any period of time, which means that even if it is like half an hour or an hour, as long as it's considered to be traveling in the community, this is not permissible at all. Fatima from Nigeria, she says that her husband is dead. May Allah Azza wa Jal have mercy on him. And her mother wants her to get married. And she doesn't want to get married because she heard the hadith that the woman belongs to her late husband in paradise. And she wants to be joined with him in paradise. What to do? The answer is up to you. What I would recommend is that if a good suitor, and you get a good proposal from a righteous, practicing person who has good provision, and mashallah, he's well off, he can give you a good life, and he has an excellent character, and this is important. Practicing is not sufficient enough. He has to have a good character. He is livable. You can live with him. You can communicate with him. Not someone who treats you like a slave and abuses you. Some of the students of Medina University, I'm getting emails from their wives telling us that they are abusing them, wal-'iyadu billah, and people think of them well. Not to tarnish the reputation of students of knowledge, no. But there are people who have this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde personality. So no, you have to be careful. If you have both the religious practice and the moral character, the akhlaq, then I recommend you that you go and marry him. She says that while I'm in the iddah period, in the waiting period of being a widow in the mourning period, that I'm not allowed to use the phone, I'm not allowed to watch TV. This is all baseless. You can use the telephone as long as you are communicating in halal, and you can watch halal material such as Huda, such as Peace TV, such as the Quran channel, anything that is halal, documentaries that has no music, no mixing, nothing haram, this is all permissible. Abu Bakr from Morocco said that his boss ordered him in the past to sign over papers so that he can steal. And he did this willingly, knowing that he will steal the money. So is he obliged to pay it back? It seems to me that yes, he is. Because he's the one who facilitated for him to steal, and he was not forced, and he had no legitimate reason for that. Abu Hudayfa says, what's the ruling on giving SMSs and greetings every Friday by saying Jum'ah Mubarakah? This is not part of the Sunnah. And some scholars say that it is an innovation, because it was not done by the Prophet ﷺ, nor by his companions. So we should avoid it. However, if a person sends me or tells me, Shaykh, Jum'ah Mubarakah, I will say, Jazakallah khair, or thank you. I have no problem. But to initiate it, no, stay away from that. Abdul Sattar from India, he says that what's happening in Nigeria and the Shia and the Boko Haram does not represent Islam. Boko Haram is a Khawarij group, and they are deviant. The Prophet called them to be the hounds of hell. Those who collaborate with them, who help them, who gives them a hand is also as deviant. And they are part of the 72 sects in hell. No one would kidnap schoolgirls and keep them for 2 or 3 months, Allah Alam, doing what with them. No one would blow up people or kill civilians or even attack masjids as the ISIS, the non-Islamic state, or the Boko Haram is doing. All of these are the handicrafts of the Khawarij, and even attacking Shia like this discriminately is not part of Islam. Ahmad, he claims he's from Saudi Arabia, and he is now calling from USA or the other way around. And again, he is the same person as Muhammad previously from Nigeria, and liars who have no real Islam. They don't have anything that binds them from Quran or Sunnah. They have the audacity to call and chatter and say things and slander people without any evidence. Akhi, we rely and depend on the Quran and the Sunnah. This is our way of life. This is our religion. So either jump into the boat with us to call people to the religion of peace through the Quran or Sunnah, or go join your friends where they are killing themselves, and inshallah they will be annihilated by the forces of Islam. This is all the time we have. Until we meet next time, I leave you fi amanillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.